No? So just to give an idea, Secretary Frasco, probably if you can give an idea how much these ASEAN countries, our neighbors, are spending on their branding and the tourism promotions, so that we will have an idea on what we should be also allocating as promotional funding for the branding as well.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To provide a view of the budgets of our direct competitors in the ASEAN, Singapore has a budget of over 431 million US dollars. Malaysia budgets over 262 million US dollars. Indonesia is at over 234 million dollars. Thailand at 167 million dollars. Vietnam at $147.9 million versus the Philippines at $52 million.
So there's really a very big disparity. As you can see, Madam Chair, yung pong yung if you would again yung pong recall of their promotions, just of course yung Malaysia through Asia is really brilliant, but nagsistick because of their very aggressive and consistent tourism promotions, no? Also, so almost all, no, from Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam have been spending more than us. So yung pong target nyo to get, what is the minimum that you think that so that we can at least compete or we can improve our tourism arrivals vis-a-vis our ASEAN neighbors? What is the bare minimum na lang po yung wish list nyo, Secretary, for us to be able to at least decently compete with our ASEAN neighbors in terms of promotions and brand promotions?
Mr. Chair, allow me to walk you back a little bit to 2019, where an allocation of over $1 billion was given to the Department of Tourism as far as branding is concerned, and where the Philippines was able to obtain around 8.2 million tourists, compared to 2024, where we were only allocated 200 million, and which resultantly provided the country with 5.9 million tourists. Now, let me go to 2023 versus 2022. For 2023, we were provided a branding budget of also over $1 billion. And the data would show that given that budget, we were able to have an over 125% increase in our tourism arrivals in the ensuing year. So, short of saying that the more funding is provided to tourism, the more arrivals will ensue. Now, as far as the proposals of the DOT, in our original Tier 1 and Tier 2 proposals to the Department of Budget and Management, we proposed 500 million in Tier 1 and 500 million in Tier 2. Since only 500 million in Tier 1 was approved, then for 2026, our proposal stands at 500 million. But I will qualify that that will not allow us to compete in as best a manner as possible with our ASEAN neighbors.
So for the record, for 2025, we're at 100 million or 200 million for the tourism branding and promotions.
For 2025, the GAA allocation for branding under the DOT stood or stands at 100 million. And as I mentioned earlier, so concerned were we about the gravity of the situation that we approached the President for help. And so he then provided us with contingency funding. However, the execution coming out of that contingency funding amount of 400 million will only be seen in the last quarter of this year. And definitely its effects can only be felt next year.
Thank you. Since I think we have talked, no, we are in our chats in the lounge. The chair, Senator Lauren, and also chairman of the Committee on Finance, Senator Win, we all agree that tourism is the low-hanging fruit among the different industries. So I would really endorse and seek their support for the funding that you are asking of at least 500 million from for the tourism branding and promotions, so that at least we can improve our arrivals. No? Kasi po, even I think Cambodia, no, has more arrivals than us, than the Philippines recently. So, Madam Chair, probably we can help increase the tourism branding and promotions. Kasi po from 1 billion in 2022, naging 100, 200, 100, and then 100 million. So that really affected our tourism arrival. So if you can, sa ngayon 500 million is what you're asking. So if you can give more, then we will do our best, no? Madam Chair, okay ba sa'yo? 500 million?
Chair? Yes. Tinanong ng chair sa subcommittee chair at sa chair ng finance. Because ayoko magsalita, okay sa akin, pero hindi ko alam saan kukunin. And second, if we are allowed at all to amend.
I think we can get that from flood control. Ang dami nun.
Yun na nga eh.
Daming promotion nun.
Assuming the GAB reaches the Senate, na nandun pa yung flood control, pwede natin tanggalin lahat at ilagay kung saan. Kung papayag. Pero because we don't know the situation if we're actually allowed to amend the budget at all now, right? So, institutional, yes. So I leave it to the chair. But of course, we support that. And perhaps you could back it up by a study. Give us a scientific explanation on the direct correlation of advertising, branding as we call it, promotions, marketing in any form, whether in social media, online, digital, or traditional, whether outdoor or what, and the arrivals, foreign arrivals, right? Because so that we can justify that. I'm sure that will be asked in the floor. If ever, I will amend it in behalf of the committee, in behalf of the DOT, scientific explanation of the direct correlation. There is such a study, I'm sure. Kasi lahat ng mga media placements companies that we worked with in my decades in politics and even in media before would have all these studies. Nung panahon namin, ano yung mataas na rating na programa, saka maglalagay ng ads. But of course, iba na yan ngayon. Which are the most viewed online platforms? Which are the routes taken by people in a city where you will put your outdoor advertising? You mentioned about trains and buses abroad. Why that market? What percentage of tourists from London, from the UK, for example, actually come? Why did you put in buses in London and not in Korea or the US, which are the top two markets? I mean, all of those, so that I can also be guided when I am asked that question when I defend your budget.
Madam Chair, we confirm that we can provide you with such information, and to add to that, we will also be able to provide you with a return on investment.
That's what we want, yes. The target market, assuming the medium that's used, and the return on investment.
Yes, Madam
Are
Chair.
there percentages return on investment? If you, for every dollar invested here, the return on investment is this.
Yes, Madam Chair. Studies data shows that for every 1 peso investment in tourism, there is a return of 5.50 pesos.
There is such a study. Who does the study?
We engaged a consultant to provide us.
But this is for every peso in tourism, not necessarily in promotions.
Yes, we have a separate data set for the yield that we can come up with as far as
for every
investing in
8 people working. This is regarding jobs, no? But for every 1 peso, there's 5.5 in returns for visitor spending. Yeah, so that's good, no? Please give us also for every peso, every dollar placed in advertising and branding and promotions, what's the ROI, if you're able to do that, even just an estimate?
Yes, Madam Chair. We
I'm sure
can,
your agencies would be able to give that.
yes, we will provide you with all our sources that include consultants, agencies, as well as the Philippine Statistics Authority.
Yes, so can you put that back? For every peso, for every peso that you put in tourism, there's 5.5 pesos returns in spending and related activities, meaning spending sa pagkain, sa sasakyan, sa souvenirs, sa pagbayad at pagtip sa tour guide, yun. Okay. But this is for every 8 people working in the Philippines, 1 owes their job to tourism. This is different. Yung nasa ilalim, it's different from that, right?
Yes, Madam Chair. As far as livelihood and employment is concerned, according to the Philippine Statistics Authority, tourism directly employs 6.75 million Filipinos, accounting for 13.8% of our entire national employment. And tourism also indirectly employs not lower than 9 million Filipinos.
Even more than 9 million? Indirectly.
Depends on the season.
Yes.
So there
Those
has been a
facts
season
also-
where it's gone up to 16.5 million.
Okay. So those facts and the sources are important for me when I defend your budget.
We will provide that, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Likewise, siguro yung andito na si GM Mark Lapid, yung kesa, yung mga infrastructure.
Kasi we've not yet tackled the budget
Okay. Yes,
within the DOT, but you can
Okay.
ask him since you're here.
Yeah, probably
Unless you might want to stay the whole time because what we did was DOT first and then we'll go to
the other agencies. Yeah, okay. Now, yung ko lang, Madam Chair, so that we will find out, we will give you also the info and the details as you defend this on the floor, the budget for promotions of that's needed by the DOT. Doon naman sa TSA, I would just like to ask GM Mark, yung pong mga infra ninyo, which areas, yung mga nilalagyan ng improvements. So just a list, para lang so that if you need, parang alam ko meron kayong budget, but yeah, if we need to supplement or add, para lang so that we can improve. One of the things that we really need is to improve the infrastructures doon sa mga selected tourism areas na talagang that are really yung mga top tourism areas, no? Sige, GM Mark.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we will submit a list of all the projects.
Thank you. Likewise, siguro to add, so how many tourism arrivals did you have, this year or last year with the bigger budget for promotions and branding?
Madam Chair, we received 5.9 million international visitors for 2024. And as of today, the Philippines has already received 4,249,587.
So hopefully we will be able,
visitors.
with a bigger budget, hopefully 500 million, at least we can reach 8 million easily, hopefully.
Not easily. Not easily,
Not easily.
Madam Chair. With
But-
only with half of our over a billion
Yeah.
budget, we don't foresee being able to reach 8 million by next year.
Okay, we will add to that, I mentioned during our organizational meeting that GCI World Congress will be held in 2026 in Clark. About 5,000 foreign delegates from all over the world. So magdadagdag kami. In our own little way, we'll add 5,000 tourists in the arrivals. Kami ni Chairman Sherwin Gatchalian are all, both members of GCI. So I'm hoping that also siguro si COO Marga is here. They're asking for help lang sa promotions, probably in our other they will be having a World Congress in Tunisia to promote this one. So baka if we can help so that we can have the 5,000 foreign delegates here. So yun na po, a small contribution to our arrivals. At least makadagdag tayo ng 5,000 ulit by that time. So Clark. And the last but not the least, Madam Chair, I also happen to defend the DOTR budget. So I'm hoping you can give me the list of which areas you think are hotspots for tourism, low-hanging fruit na talagang pinupuntahan. Of course, say from Siargao, Boracay. And